Hi, and welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Leading the Way in Education. I'm your host, Andrea De La Cerda, and each week I'm bringing you insightful discussions and news about changes in the landscape of education and trends in entrepreneurship. As a former middle school teacher turned corporate communications executive, I'm here to share how my experience with corporate clients as a business owner can and should influence the way that we think about marketing in the educational ecosystem, what's working, what isn't working, and how to change the paradigm of public versus private once and for all. In this episode is a part one of a two-part series with tips to optimize funding and resources for nonprofit leaders. Today, we're going to talk about the nuances of nonprofit giving and tools that can support you. If you or someone you know is involved in a nonprofit organization that struggles or works really hard to raise funds all year long, we have some resources in today's podcast that we hope will help you. So let's dive in. Total charitable giving by corporations, foundations, individuals, and requests to support the work of nonprofits actually dropped 10.5% in 2022 compared to 2021 when adjusted for inflation, according to Giving USA's latest report. Giving by individuals fell by an even steeper, astonishing rate of 13.4% after adjusting for inflation. So let's talk about this. How do you sustain and even grow nonprofit organizations during a period of donation decline? First and foremost, a strong identifiable brand is critical. We actually talked a little bit about this in our last episode, so if you'd like more on that topic, go back and listen to the last episode. 93% of nonprofits believe that a strong brand identity has a positive impact on donor engagement. If a strong brand identity is something your organization has not invested in yet, an identifiable brand can build credibility, trust, awareness of your services, and the ability to scale across a larger footprint. So that's super important to consider. There are some important resources that can help both large and small nonprofits raise and manage funds, which we're mostly going to talk about in today's episode. But please note that all of these resources and links for this week's episode can be found in our episode notes. Let's start by breaking down where or how people give. According to a statistic from doublethedonation.com, 32% of donors are most inspired to give by social media, followed closely by email at 30%, website at 17%, print 15%, TV or radio ads 3%, a phone call 2%, and text messaging 1%. So clearly social media is the winner here. And because social media is such a popular channel for people to send money and support their nonprofit, social platforms have actually developed more giving solutions for you. So if you're not aware of some of what Facebook and Instagram specifically can offer, you'll want to listen in. So free social sharing sites like Facebook and Instagram have developed Facebook fundraisers and Instagram donation stickers, which enable nonprofits in the US, Australia, Canada, and the UK to leverage these social media channels to raise funds, engage with your supporters, and amplify fundraising efforts through peer-to-peer sharing and storytelling. Since fundraising became available on Facebook and Instagram, over 100 million fundraisers have raised more than $7 billion for various causes worldwide. Obviously, the benefit of leveraging tools like social media is not only the ability to target your message to a specific audience, but it does do that, but also the algorithm can help you spread the word about your organization so much faster to a charitable community of users. So you can spread the word faster, know that those that you're reaching are people who are probably going to receive your message well, and they're people who give to charitable organizations anyway. So that's a win-win and not for a high cost. Events have always been another popular channel for fundraising, with 85% of U.S. donors volunteering and 81% attending nonprofit fundraising events. For a small processing fee, you have tools like Eventbrite, Give Sign Up, or Mobile Cause. They all provide nonprofits with solutions for hosting virtual or in-person fundraising events, managing registrations, selling tickets, and soliciting donations. All of that can be done directly on these platforms. So if you have let's say your nonprofit has a working board of 20, 25 people who this has always been their job to do this manually. You now can consider leveraging your board for other tasks, and a lot of this can be done just directly in the technology. And next, to advance, peer-to-peer fundraising is one of the most effective methods of raising money today, especially when engaging next-gen donors, so Gen Z and millennials, for example. With peer-to-peer, individuals have an opportunity to advocate for the causes that mean the most to them, and then directly ask their peers for support. Classy.org's quote, Why America Gives report found that next-gen donors, Gen Z and millennials, are 2.7 times more likely to host an individual fundraising page for an organization and 3 times more likely to advocate than traditional donors. Another nonprofit, To Write Love on Her Arms, a nonprofit presenting hope and finding help for people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide, saw more than 60% increase of online donation volume just from peer-to-peer giving. And Girl Start, a nonprofit empowering girls around STEM, raised 22% more year over year with individual peer-to-peer fundraising. So consider your audience, though, depending on what your nonprofit is and who directly you serve. But some of these younger generations, the Gen Z, what they call next-gen donors, really consider peer-to-peer as part of your strategy if those are the individuals that you're reaching and serving. Peer-to-peer platforms like Classy, as I mentioned, classy.org, Fundly, or Just Giving, all of these enable nonprofits to mobilize supporters to raise funds on their behalf using peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. But perhaps you choose just to rely on the generous donations of corporations, which is another very lucrative fundraising model if you have the time and resources to build that out. The top 10 most generous corporations donate over $2 billion annually to nonprofits. Much of it is through actual employer matching gift programs. So let's talk about that. A matching gift program is a corporate initiative where an employer agrees to match charitable contributions made by their employees to eligible nonprofit organizations. So, for example, if an employee donates $100 to a qualifying charity, the employer would match that donation with an additional $100, effectively doubling the impact of the employee's contribution. These programs are typically part of a company's corporate social responsibility efforts. They're designed to encourage employees to support charitable causes that they care about. Matching gift programs can vary in terms of the amount that's matched, eligibility criteria of those nonprofits they would match, and the types of nonprofits that qualify for these matching funds. Employees often appreciate these programs, though, because they can amplify the impact of their personal charitable giving. More than 26 million individuals work for companies with matching gift programs. But get this, over 78% of those 26 million individuals are unaware that their company even offers a matching gift program or know any of these program specifics. But 84% of donors say they're more likely to donate if a match is offered. 1 in 3 donors said they'd give a larger gift if they knew it would be matched and doubled. So if you're a nonprofit listening to this and you're relying on corporate donations, make sure that you let your corporation or make sure your corporation is doing a good job of communicating to their employees all the ins and outs of their charitable giving policies. And also, if you're a corporation listening to this right now, make sure that if you have a social responsibility plan and your efforts are around matching giving, make sure that you're communicating that to your employees so that they know the benefit that's in it for them. Platforms like doublethedonation.com and hepdata.net, HEP data.net, helps nonprofits maximize donations by facilitating these matching gift programs. So employers match their employees' charitable contributions, again, effectively doubling the impact of these donations. And all of that can happen on these platforms. When it comes to tracking donations over the long term, there are other platforms such as customer relationship management solutions, or a CRM, that if you're not using, you just might be leaving money on the table. While these solutions require time and resources to manage and update, you can optimize giving from each individual donor all year long. For example, if you know that a new donor last year gave a $5,000 donation in November, more than likely they'd be willing to give it again if you engage them at the right time with the right message. Tools like Bloomberg, Donor Perfect, or Salesforce NPSP, which stands for Nonprofit Success Pack, offer nonprofit organizations robust CRM systems that are tailored to their specific needs, helping them manage donor relationships, track donations, and segment their donor base for targeted fundraising appeals. And finally, another donation model to consider is a membership program. Nonprofits can establish membership programs to solicit recurring donations from supporters in exchange for membership benefits, such as access to exclusive content or special perks, using platforms like Patreon, Memberful, or Wild Apricot. So if you think this could make sense for your organization, can you think of special access or benefits that you could offer to your members exclusively? It's important to understand that whichever fundraising formats you choose here, though, I would advise that you utilize a mix of these, by the way, for the benefit of your organization. There are tools that, sometimes for a small fee, can help augment your fundraising efforts all year long. I've worked with so many nonprofits that they truly do resist using tools like these because they're perceived as expensive and historically they've just never been in the budget. And because historically they've never been in the budget, they feel there's no room to put them in the budget anymore. But often, and again, the price does range from small processing fees to the cost of the platforms themselves. But these fees are worth the cost. Think about it if it allows your organization to grow your revenue by 10, 20, or even 30%. Really being able to maximize your donation amount. It's about really embracing an innovative new way to approach fundraising. And if you need support in that and doing that, or also even communicating to your board about the benefits or effectiveness of that, we would love to help you. If you have any questions about any of this, how to create the best fundraising strategy specifically for your organization, reach out to us. We can help. We'd love to support you in your fundraising journey. Best of luck in your path to build your nonprofit to make a bigger impact in this world. We truly respect your dedication and commitment to contributing your talents and resources for good. And that's all we have for you today, but join us next week for the second part of this 2-part series. We'll talk more about out-of-the-box strategies to increase donations and ways to best optimize your volunteer support. And again, if you need help or want to join our community of incredible nonprofit leaders, please reach out to us at team@kandulacommunications.com. And that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please catch us next week for another new episode. And just a reminder to review, like, and subscribe. Hope you'll join us next week. Take care.